Here we go.
There's no title bigger than this.
It is great to be back. Welcome to the Worlds. Wow.
Just superb.
Grit and determination.
Does her. Gets it done.
What darting entertainment this is.
Brilliant finishing.
And he saves his skin.
Pummeling the trebles again. Oh, he's in again.
There it is.
Nathan Aspel's fired up.
Composure and skill.
Oh, magnificent from Van Gerwen.
He's up there to prove a point.
And this time, Peter gets it right. It's all right on the night at the Alexandra Palace.
Hello and welcome to On The Wire. It is day 2 of the Willie Mill World Championship and we are back in our weird budget one-show studio. Chris Murphy has joined me to talk about the opening day action and what's coming up on day 2. Murph, what did you make of last night? Potentially the only session of darts we will see with fans.
Yeah, well, at least Peter Wright put on a show for the fans that were there. The Grinch stole the show on the opening night of the World Darts Championship. He was fantastic and really set his stall out in this tournament because he looked a little bit shaky at the Players' Championship when he got to the semi-final. Had a terrible match there, but impressive stuff from Diogo Portela as well. Very disappointing stuff from Steve Beaton on his 30th.
Well, look, we've got the highlights here. Start with Steve West beating Amit Gillett-Waller. I mean, there was a lot of talk about the growth of the game in India. I think it's fair to say it's got some growing to do before we see some real competitive players. But it doesn't take long. You can get a player come from nowhere in 5 years, become a major champion. You mentioned Diogo. He's got to be the story of the night, irrespective of Peter Wright's outfit. We'll come to Diogo in a minute. This was one of the games of the first round. It looked like it. Perhaps not great in terms of standard, but Keane Barry, he lost 2 times in the first round here. But in both games, he's shown glimpses of what he could be, hasn't he?
Yeah, really good player. It could have been closer, couldn't it? Because in set play, just one leg, one double makes a massive difference. It could have been 2 sets each. But Jeff Smith just showing a little bit more experience. The experience that Keane Barry's getting is serving him very well, and I think in the next couple of years we might see him go on a run in this or another big tournament.
You said that Peter Wright, he looked shaky at the Players' Championship finals. He's only averaged 93 in that game there. I mean, he said, I didn't play well, I didn't need to, but how important is it to lay down a marker when you're one of the big players at the start of these tournaments?
I actually think a 93 average and a dominant win in the first round is a marker. It's just about getting past the first game, coming back after Christmas and getting into the meat of the tournament. A lot of the top players have gone far in this tournament, almost treated as 2 different events, a standalone match, and then the World Championship starts when they come back after Christmas.
All right, let's talk about Diogo. He has suffered from all sorts of stuff this year. He hasn't had a great deal of darts to play for a start, but much more important than that, had his first child, Diana. She wasn't very well. His wife Ariana had a postnatal depression. He's suffered from depression himself. He spoke very, very candidly about it. But, and I think this is important, he's sought help and he's had help and support. And we saw that that's helped him get to the stage where he's gone and become the first Brazilian to win at the Willie Mill World Championship.
Yeah, and it sounds like he sought help just in the nick of time. He contacted Alan Warriner at the PDPA, who put him in touch with Sporting Chance, who provide mental health services to many sports and darts as well. He's been seeing a counsellor. He revealed all this yesterday. I mean, we've not seen him for a long time. He's not really been on the tour this year. Obviously, he revealed his problems. What I think is really admirable about that for Diogo is somebody coming out and talking about that just sends the message to everybody else that might be out there struggling that those support pathways are there for professional dart players, and they've got the same access to that level of support as Premier League footballers have. So the fact that he's asked for help, the fact that he's engaged with that help, and then he's able to turn up here and put in a performance like that, I'm not surprised to see an outpouring of emotion, but really, really important and admirable stuff from him.
Yeah, look, I mean, if you're watching this, I presume you're either a darts player or a darts fan, and I mean, if you're neither of those, I'm not really sure what you're doing, but if you are watching this and you saw what happened to Diogo, if you are struggling, just reach out. If you're a darts player, then the PDPA and Sporting Chance. If you're not, there's loads of help out there. So just talk about it, talk with your friends, talk with your family. I think, that's the power of sport. It's not just, it's human drama that's playing out over the course of the next few weeks.
And
here
it's not weakness to ask for help. Actually, it's a sign of strength.
Absolutely. Wise words. Now, a sign of strength, it is a sign of strength from the rigging team in a very different way. Like last night, they were up till 4 in the morning changing the whole layout of Ali Pali, because there are no fans. We may not see any fans return before the end of the tournament. It looks good in there, doesn't it?
Really good, yeah, really. They've done an impressive job, as the PDC have done all the way through this pandemic, made everything appear as good as it possibly can, really. And I think the people who tune in tonight will be really impressed with what they see. But a massive effort.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've seen behind closed doors tournaments in Coventry, Milton Keynes. They look fantastic, they look really good, but this seems to have taken it to another level. They've been forced to because of the size of this hall, changing things around. You've got the Sky production like bang in the centre. It's going to be brilliant. Let's have a look at what we've got coming up tonight, because it is basically Jolly Wednesday. We've got all the lads in the northeast. We've had, who did we have this afternoon? We had Ryan Joyce, we had Chris Dobie, Callan Ridds and Adam Hunt on the way, Max Hopp, the German number 2 now, not the number 1, and Glenn Durrant's the big name. Now Glenn, obviously, he's struggled for form since coming back from COVID. He takes on Diogo. I mean, neither of them will have come into this tournament feeling particularly positive, but we've seen that Diogo has used it as a chance to turn things around. It's a massive opportunity for Glenn as well.
It is. I spoke to Glenn last week, actually, and he said that he has never had a loss of form, really, because his career has been so late in his life. It's always been on the upward curve, so it's the first time that he's trying to learn how to rediscover his form, and it all stemmed from getting coronavirus not long after winning the Premier League. So a really interesting story, and whether he's quite ready or not, who knows, because physically he's been saying he's been struggling. He said his intention is to be as strong as an ox by the time the World Championship comes along, but I'm sure that Diogo will be riding the crest of a wave after last night.
Yeah, you don't know how much that's going to drain him, all that outpouring of emotion. He's not had long to recover from it, but we'll see. It's a psychologically wearing experience getting up on stage and going through these things. Max Hopp will kick us off tonight against Gigi Mathers, the Australian, who's been staying at Simon Whitlock's in preparation for this. Max is a strange old player. There is a world-class player in there somewhere, but he's no longer the German number 1, and Gabriel Clemens has overtaken him. Is he ready, do you think, to actually unlock some of that potential on the big stage, or is it still a work in progress?
I think it's very much a work in progress. I don't think he'll have any trouble tonight, to be honest, but I can't see him having a deep run in this tournament. There's been no sign of that over the course of the last year, maybe in the last couple of years. He threatened to be making his move in World Darts at about around 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, well, he won a couple of titles.
Yeah, but since then it's kind of tapered off a little bit, and as you said, he's been replaced as a German number 1.
Well, look, it may have stalled the progress of Max Hopp, but there have been some little moments, some performances, some bits of games where he's looked absolutely sublime, and he's thrown some enormous averages on the tour every now and again over the last couple of years. I think he really could ignite at some point. I don't know if it's going to be this year's World Championship. Callan Ridds, he's one you've picked out to watch, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he could ignite here. I think he's a bit of an outsider, a bit of a dark horse to watch in this tournament. Just having seen him in the last couple of months, he seems to have changed his attitude a little bit, and the sulks have gone, the sort of the anger at himself has disappeared. He's all of a sudden kind of gone from being the boy to being the man. He's mature, and when he clicks, he is brilliant. And if he clicks on that stage, he could give anybody a game. I think he gets safely through tonight, but I think he could go on a run in this event.
It's not. I mean, we've seen him do incredibly well on the Pro Tour. He actually made a semi-final that got him to this tournament, as well as the Players' Championship finals, where he was only beaten by Peter Wright. And that brings us to this one. Now, last year, you were going all over the world's media with Fallon Sherrock after she made history, won 2 games at the William Hill World Championship, the first lady so to do. Lisa Ashton is the first woman ever to win a tour card in the PDC via Q School. Many think she's the best female player on the planet. Do you subscribe to that view?
I think her record says that. I think that's there for everybody to see. What Fallon did was amazing, but I think in terms of being consistently the best, Lisa Ashton has been for a number of years now, and I think she's got an excellent chance of winning against a player that she's beaten twice on tour this year. Yeah,
and they've got similar numbers of wins, of course, as well, so we could see history repeated. It wouldn't be the first time, of course, but it would be a first time for Lisa Ashton. It would be a magnificent one. Do you think that she beats Adam Hunt? Or do you think that the Hunter gets it done? Because he did actually perform at the Grand Slam of darts, didn't he, and get through to the knockout rounds.
Adam Hunt is one of those in and out players, and when he's on, he can be very good, but he's just not on often enough. And the fact that he has been recently, I'm just going to go by the law of averages and say that he might be off tonight, and Lisa Ashton gets the job done.
Well, there we go. Well, look, if Lisa is going to get the job done and book her a place in the second round, then she's going to have to finish well, I would imagine, a bit like she did when she was with the darts show and she had a crack at forfeit darts. Enjoy tonight.
Game on. 32. Wow, what a start. 64. 86.
Don't go on, Lisa. Stop it, Lisa.
Brilliant. 96 first throw. That is awesome.
You impressed us with the first one, the second one didn't.
16. 32 is 48. 144 for Lisa.